Welcome to the Elmira Pioneers YouTube channel for tonight's game. The 1-5 Elmira Pioneers take on the 1-3 Newark Pilots. Each team looking for their second victory of the season as the Pioneers return to Dunn Field after a two-game road trip. The game will be started shortly. In a second, we will get you the national anthem. Jennifer Nixon will sing the national anthem. Enjoy. And with that, it is about time to play ball here at historic Dunn Field. Kids leaving the field. Fans getting ready. And so, we're going to see the debut start from Brayton Coletta. He did come in earlier in the season and put up an inning and 2/3 relief. And with that, as the first pitch is done, we're now just about ready to play ball. It's cowbell night here at historic Dunn Field. The Pioneers start on defense as the home team against the Newark Pilots. On the mound for your Elmira Pioneers, Brayton Coletta. This season at Niagara Community College, he played in a few games, racking up 11 strikeouts, had a 5.68 ERA, but that was just because he only had a couple starts. His best start was when he got his win. 2 1/3, no earned, and 5 strikeouts. As a lefty, he helps out with some platoon matchups, and will be given the start here. Coach Strum is confident that Coletta will be able to do well as the Pioneers are seeking win number 2 after getting their first win on the road last night. We'll tell you just quickly who's on defense for your Pioneers. The battery is formed up by Coletta and Brody Bartenstein. At first base, we see Frank Wayman. Second, Chris Bear. Shortstop, Joe Olsovsky, while Johnny Wall plays at third. And left field, Max Mandler, the man who hit a game-winning sacrifice fly, is in left, Cooper Smith back in center, and Ethan Herrera returns to right field. The designated hitter is Joe Muzio, while Bobby Marsh returns as the extra hitter. The umpire says 2 more pitches before we're ready to play ball. Leading off for the Newark Pilots is TJ Werner. For the season, Werner has a 2.22 average. He's 2 for 9 with 2 doubles. But those are the only times he's gotten on base. The due-up players for the Pilots this inning will be Werner, Whitley, and Morgan. And now Werner steps up to lead off. So Coletta ready to go, top of the first, about to get underway. Here's the first pitch from Coletta. That one's going to be grounded. Picked up at third, and Johnny Wall will get the first out of the inning on the first pitch. Can't really ask for a better start if you're the Elmira Pioneers. First pitch ground out, Johnny Wall making that look easy. So 1 away. Willie steps up now. He's facing off against Coletta. And here's the pitch. A little bit high, ball 1. Something that Coach Drum has said he wants to see from his team is getting the first out and getting first strikes. And they got the first out of the inning as there's a shot to the outfield. Making the catch in right field on the run is Ethan Herrera, and 2 outs immediately. That adds some drive to it, but not deep enough. 2 away. And forget just getting that first out. Coletta nearly out of the inning cleanly, needing just 3 pitches to get the first 2. That's something Drum will love to see. He just needs to retire Morgan, and the inning will be over. Here's the first pitch. And strike 1, low and in the zone. That'll get some cheers from Dunfield. For the season, Morgan batting .500. He's 4 for 8, and the best hitter overall for the Newark Pilots. The Pilots enter this game 1-3, as there's a shot to center field. Cooper Smith under it. This time he makes the catch. He's had a couple drops earlier in the season, but not right there. He comes away with it, and the inning is over. Newark goes down in order, 1, 2, 3, as the side is retired. We'll be right back with more Pioneers baseball after this. We are back at Dunn Field for the start of the bottom of the first inning. Joe Olsovsky leads off, followed by Ethan Herrera, Joe Muzio, Bobby Marsh, Frank Wayman, Cooper Smith, Johnny Wall, Chris Bear, Max Mandler, Brody Bartenstein, and Braden Coletta, who's on the mound. It's the 10-man lineup, Bartenstein at the bottom, Joe Olsovsky at the top, and he is ready to go with the first pitch right here coming from Jackson. Chris Jackson getting the start here for the Newark Pilots. He gets the first strike on him, strike one. Oh, 1 now to Olsovsky. 0-2 just on the outside corner. And Olsovsky down in the 0-2 hole almost immediately. Here's the 0-2 to Olsovsky. Can he stay alive here? Swing and a miss. He cannot. He is down on 3 pitches. Ethan Herrera steps up here. 1 away, base is empty. Herrera for the season, 2 for 11, but he also has 2 RBIs and a walk. Herrera, a two-way guy, also has some starts on the mound. Different relieving stints. That one very outside, ball 1. Pilots lucky no one was on base, or else they would probably have gotten a free 90-foot run. Here's the 1-0 now to Ethan Herrera. Outside ball 2, Herrera able to get ahead. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss, Herrera down 2-1. A nice little afternoon turning tonight eventually here in Elmira. Temperature 72 degrees. And even though there is some predicted rain on the forecast on tomorrow and Sunday, hopefully it'll stay away as the count now moves to 3-1. Herrera, 1 pitch away from getting be the first base runner this game. They're not the sponsor this inning, but if you see that Texas Roadhouse sign in right field, someone hits it, everyone gets a free appetizer from Texas Roadhouse. That one's popped straight up, and that'll be out number 1 as Jackson gets under it. And no, that's not Chris Jackson, that's Lucas Jackson, a different Jackson who's playing as the catcher. 2 away. On that pop-up, Herrera, you could tell, was immediately disappointed. And now I'll bring up Joe Muzio with the bases empty and 2 outs. Muzio, an uncharacteristically quiet night last night, went 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 strikeouts early on. He was struggling to get settled, but for the season, he's the only hitter for the Pioneers, hitting over 300. That one's fouled away. He can get good contact in every single at-bat. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to Muzio. Muzio grounded sharply to first, and that'll end the inning, so both teams can't get any offense going as they go down in order. 1-2-3 and 1-2-3. We'll be back at the top of the second with more Pioneers baseball. Hello, I'm Taylor Storthy. Welcome back to historic Dunn Field. Second inning about to get underway between the Elmira Pioneers and Newark Pilots. Last night, the Pioneers got their first win of the season, a 2-1 victory against the Oneonta Outlaws. Nick Reiser came in with 3 innings of clean work, including getting out of a bases-loaded jam with no outs in the 8th inning to secure the win. The only thing Vargas did wrong was letting Cooper Smith get on base. A throwing error got Smith to third, and Max Mandler sent him home, meaning Vargas took home the loss after 1 1/3 of relatively clean baseball. The Pioneers got improved to a 1-5 record, while the Outlaws dropped to 3-2, although they stayed over 500. This inning's sponsor is C-Tran, accessible transit for all, and just check out Chemung Transit to learn more. Here's the first pitch from Coletta. Swing and a miss by Derek Smith. He's down 0-1 in the count. Smith, in 7 at-bats, he's 3 for 7, batting over 400, so he knows how to get on base. His bat is pretty hot. Wonder how hot it'll stay right here. That one's a shot deep to right field. That should get behind them. No, Ethan Herrera tracking back to make the catch. That was a very well hit ball, just not deep enough. Disappointing for Smith, but great news for Herrera, and that's out number 1. If you're a Pioneers fan, welcome back. If you're a Pilots fan, welcome. Trying my best to be an unbiased commentator from time to time. So it's not going to be completely deadpan on Pilot success, but do understand if I do get a little more excited for Pioneers runs being scored. 1-0. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be lined and should be the first base hit. It is. Mandler gets behind it and gets to it. He's going to try to go to 2 now. Throw into second and not in time. Goods is able to get a 1-out double. Put a runner aboard. He hit that well and drops just in front of Mandler. Not much he can do there. And Mandler a little bit slow on the ball, and Goods decides to try for 2, and he gets it. So with 1 out, Goods gets the first hit of the ball game. And that is now going to bring up Kyle Wood. For the season, Kyle Wood, 2 for 9. He hasn't had an RBI yet, but has a chance to get it right here with a runner in a dangerous position. Coletta looking to keep things clean. Here's the pitch. Ball 1, just a little bit inside. Coach Drum said the win last night was great for the team. They did a lot of things right, throwing strikes, not letting a lot of leadoff batters on, and they limited the free passes, which is great. He said he'd rather see hits and letting the defense do the work instead of walks and hit by pitches. And so far, the only hit was a nice little double to left field that Goods was able to turn 2 on. It was a close play. He had to slide in. Now here's the 2-0 to Wood. He's gotten ahead of Coletta here. Gonna step off, just check second again. Ready with the pitch. That one's going to be lined to center field. Will it get down? No, right under it is Chris Bear for the second out of the inning. Given steps up here with 2 outs and a runner on second. That could be the first run of the ball game. Elmira's defense was the best it had been all season last night, surrendering just 1 run, and that was back in the bottom of the first inning. And so for now, they've had a full 9 innings of scoreless baseball, despite some very shaky situations from time to time. 2 outs, here's the first pitch. Ball 1, I think they're just calling that a little bit inside, or a little high. Man on second, 2 away. Coletta on the mound. Gets a sign, checks back at 2. Here's the pitch. That time, strike 1. Bartenstein keeps that framed in the zone. 1-1 now to Given. He's the extra hitter for the Pilots. Just a bit high, ball 2. Coletta, I think, a little disappointed in that one. He could tell, just slipped out the wrong way. For the season, Given's over 6, although he has gotten on base, and he did get a sacrifice RBI as well. Sacrifice wouldn't be possible here. He can try to get an RBI. And good framing by Bartenstein. Strike 2. Italy nearly a little bit outside, but I think Bartenstein pulling it in the zone did enough. 2-2 to Given. Even count, but the pitcher just needs 1 strike, and Coletta get out of the inning. Looks back, and he's just going to step off. Expect the runner might go here, and he's just going to a quick little talk with Bartenstein, going over what pitch they want to do. Let us ready now. Umpire shows the 2-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the side is retired. That's his first strikeout of the game. In that inning, there was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left the board. We'll be back with the bottom of the second after this. And once again, thank you, C-Tran, for sponsoring the Elmira Pioneers. Bobby Marsh leading off the bottom of the second inning for the Pioneers. That one's shot deep right field. That one has a chance. There it goes off the wall. That'll be a potential double. Will Marsh get it in time? Yes, he will. That was the closest shot we've had to a home run all season. But Marsh with a stand-up double, just mere inches away from leaving the park. Marsh's first swing back in the lineup, and he takes that all the way. He was absent because he had another commitment for yesterday's game, but he takes that one deep to start the inning. Wow, what a shot from Bobby Marsh. That is going to bring up Frank Wayman with a runner on second and no outs. Here's swing and a miss. I think Wayman wanted to do what Marsh did, but can't get to the ball that time. 0-1. Wayman made his debut last night and had a relatively quiet night. 0 for 3 with a walk, and only 1 strikeout, so he was able to get the ball in play. Almost keeps that in play as that just goes foul, 0-2. Now, sometimes you think in this situation, why not lay down a bunt, try to get a runner to third? That's not the style Drum usually likes to run. He likes to get his players still swinging and trying to keep that offense moving. And with a powerful bat like Frank Wayman, I don't blame him. 0-2 now from Jackson. That one's going to be grounded. It will get Marsh to third, but it'll also get the first out of the inning. Runner on third with 1 out. A dangerous situation, and that'll bring up Cooper Smith. Smith last night was a benefactor on a 1-out sac fly that brought him as the winning run home for the Pioneers. He now goes down 0-1 on that swing and miss. These runs can be crucial, and even though we've generally seen quite a few runs scored in these games, last night it was still a 1-1 game very late. Obviously, they might want to get a little bit of run scoring early here. 1-1, that one a bit outside. I will say, with the Newark lineup, there might have been some last-minute changes. I will keep you posted on if players were moved around a little bit. Potentially saw Coletta starting and wanting to avoid some platoon disadvantages, making some changes. Counts now 1-2, as that one tags the outside corner. Bottom of the second, runner on third. Smith trying to get the first run home for the Pioneers. Ball 2, just a bit low and inside. For the season, Cooper Smith hitting .286, one of the better hitters for the Pioneers. Generally, someone you like in this situation. He's going to send that one. Catch is made in right, and Marsh wasn't ready to tag up, so he's not going to be able to get home. And that might be a little annoying for Billy Wilderman as he's going to talk over to Bobby. Would have been probably hard to get home on that play. But there are now 2 outs for Johnny Wall. Scared for a second, accidentally hit my power button. Thankfully, our stream is still going well. I was worried that it might have gone offline. 1-0 count, 2 away. That first pitch was ball 1. Apologies if there was a little blur right there. 2 away, Bobby Marsh still on third. 2-0. Chris Bear on deck. But for now, it's Wall. Strike 1 this time. He finds the outside corner. For the season, Johnny Wall hitting .273 with 3 hits and an RBI. Here's the pitch. Ball 3. He keeps trying that outside corner, but Wall has continued to take and now finds himself ahead 3-1 in the count. Chance to keep that inning alive. 3-1. That one's going to be grounded. Gets to short. Throw is on target, and it ends the inning. Pioneers get their first hit and runner aboard, but nothing comes from it. No runs on 1 hit. No errors. 1 stranded. Second inning complete. We will be back with the third inning right after this. Thank you again to Multimedia Services for being the previous innings sponsor for your Elmira Pioneers. They provided us with all the signage out in the outfield. Thank you again, Multimedia Services. This inning sponsor is Papa John's. First pitch, ball one. Strike one now. So we learned what happened. Jackson was out with injury. Given is the catcher, and he is up now. While at the previous inning, it was Kyle Gordon, the new EH, who struck out. It's a 1-2 count now to Given. Given clears that one foul. Wayman or Herrera not able to get to it. Count stays at 1-2. What can Given do here? That one again fouled away, so Given staying alive. We had mentioned before, Given still yet to get his first hit all season. Sitting in the 8th spot. Down 1-2 to Coletta. Outside, ball 2. Indeed, it was Jackson being sat for injury. Hopefully he'll recover soon. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, second strikeout in a row for Braden Coletta, and that'll be out number 1 in the top of the 3rd. Pine comes up. One away. Swing and a miss, strike 1. For the season, Kine is 3 for 6. He also has drawn a walk, yet to have an RBI. He bats in the 10 or 9 spot. Rounds at foul 0-2. And that is a line drive to center field, but Cooper Smith comes away with it. That'll be 2 outs in the inning. I think Drum loving the stuff he's seeing from Coletta so far. Already 2 2/3 clear, and we are now just getting to the number 10 hitter. Hurwitz steps up. He's a left fielder. He's batting bottom of the order. Ball 1, just a little bit high. 1-0. Here's from Coletta. That one's going to be grounded. Coletta can't get to it. Wall does. And an impressive play there. An underhand throw. Johnny Wall gets the final out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Pioneers. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left aboard. Still a tied ball game as the Pioneers come back up in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Right after this. We are back. Bottom of the third inning here at Dunn Field. It's been a lefty-lefty showdown that has been pretty good so far for both teams. Coletta, 3 clean innings. Gonna see if Jackson can keep things clean right here. Leading off for the Pioneers is Chris Bear, batting in the 8th hole. First pitch. That one is taken for ball 1. 1-0. Bear gets under that one. That one's going far. And gone! Off the wall! That one got over the outfielder's head, and it disappeared behind the white signage. A huge double for Chris Bear. Wow. And with that, it's Bear's second hit. He gets into second safely. What a way to lead off the inning. Runner aboard with no one out. And that'll bring up Max Mandler. Mandler knows a thing or two about getting some important RBIs. He sent Cooper Smith home in the previous game against the Outlaws. Previous game, afterwards, I asked Max Mandler how he felt about the win. And he said it was about time that the Pioneers came away with that win. And he said he was happy to help out the team in a way he could, and also credited the pitching, who had a very solid day. 5 one-run innings from Kendall, 3 no-run innings from Reiser, and the save by Tristan Champa. Jackson aborts his pitch. Here's the 0-1. Outside, ball 1. Apart from being now with that game-winning RBI, Mandler's still looking for his first actual hit as a Pioneer. He does have 3 walks, though, so he's been able to get on base and help his team. Here's the 1-1. Just outside, ball 2. One for Mandler. Jackson turning around to second, aborting that pitch. Clearly a little bit worried about Chris Bear on second base. Bear staying put, 3-1. Imagine the only time Bear will run is on a 3-2 count, or if a pitch goes a little wild, like we saw back in the first inning. Mandler gets aboard. 2-1 with no one out. And that's the first walk drawn by the Pioneers this game. Brody Barnstein comes up. He's the bottom of the order. 2-on, no one out. And pitching coach, I think, is just going to calm down Jackson a little bit. Barnstein, 6 at-bats, no hits. Barnstein's also struck out 4 times. He's looking to get some offense going here. But maybe in this situation, you do want to sacrifice bunt. It would help advance the runners, and Barnstein hasn't been the greatest hitter. Could be a safe bet to try to hedge your bets in that. And trust Olsovsky, Herrera, and Muzio, who are the 3 next due up, back at the top of the order. They are 0 for 3 combined, but that's all through 1 at-bat. And those 3 combined have been pretty consistent hitters for the Pioneers all season. Bartenstein up. Here's the 0-0. Bartenstein goes away from the bunt. Ball 1. We saw given up quickly, looking for a throwback to second. Infield shifted a little bit opposite. I think they see Bartenstein as a pull guy. Imagine third baseman will run up here. And, ooh, that's one's going to get a bit wild. And runners advance. Hard to tell what happened. It looked like it hit off of Bartenstein, but it actually missed him. Instead, it just goes very far wild. 2-0 count, and now the runners are in a position where a sacrifice bunt would only be a squeeze and now is likely useless. Second and third, no one out. Go ahead run in the first run of the ball game, resting at third for Bartenstein. Tipped away, strike one. That's one of those checkup tips. Don't see anyone yet warming up for the Pilots. 2-1. Ball 3 just a bit outside. Bartenstein could get his first walk of the season and get the bases loaded for Joe Olsofsky. Here's the 3-1 to Bartenstein, and if I'm coach, I'm telling Bartenstein to take all the way. Get it to a full count if you have to. And ball 4. Bases now loaded with no one out. And now the top of the order is back up. And Joe Olsofsky. He struck out back in the first inning. For the season, Olsofsky, 2 RBIs, 5 walks, and 4 hits, and 18 at-bats. He's been very active. One of the only people to start a majority of the games alongside Joe Muzio and Bobby Marsh. Strike one that time, a little bit inside and in the zone. Again, thank you, Papa John's. If you're ever done field, you can always get yourself a slice of Papa John's pizza from the concession stand. Here's the 0-1. Ooh, that one I think just a little bit higher outside. 1-1. That was a pretty close call. 1-1 now to Joe Olsofsky. For any new Pilots viewers, that name might be familiar. Joe's father was in the NFL. That time, strike 2 on that outside corner. Although, take a look, it probably would have been 1-2 if that previous call was a strike and this one was called as a ball. Now you got a 1-2 to Olsofsky. His father now is a coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not head coach, but one of the coaches. Here's the 1-2. Olsofsky pops that one up. Probably will be enough to send a runner home. Picked up. And he's just going to stay. Chris Bear was thinking about it, but doesn't risk it. And with that, there's one away. Ethan Herrera steps back in. Bases loaded. He popped out in his previous at-bat. Muzio and Marsh on deck. Muzio grounded out, and Marsh hit a rocket to deep right field that just got off the tilted wall. And yes, that wall is tilted. Not on purpose. That one's strike one. Now, there was a lot of number changing at the start of the season. Herrera was originally meant to have a number pretty higher up, at number 50, but ultimately was changed to 27 with roster shakeups and uniform shakeups. Count goes 1-1. Still, we've got a bases loaded spot. Jackson wanting to pull off what Reiser did last night and get out of a jam from no outs. That one's high, 2-1. For the season, Herrera, 2 for 11. He hasn't drawn many walks, only 1. He has struck out 4 times. Even though you do want a ball in play, you do want to be careful that it's not a double play. Every out is a force out here. So that is something to be careful of. Here's the 2-1 to Herrera. Tipped away. Strike 2. Two, 2. Bases loaded. Infield playing slightly in. Not all the way in, though. Strike 3. Herrera goes down looking. It was a late call, but the call was made. And good framing there by Given to get that in the zone. 5th strikeout of the season, and that'll be the second out. Moves around Dunfield, but here comes Joe Muzio. And his previous 5 at-bats, 1 walk and 4 outs. So you could argue that Muzio's really due for a hit here. He has the difficulty of a lefty-lefty platoon, but that didn't stop Bobby Marsh. The Muzio set here to go. 2 outs, bases loaded. A real chance for the Pios to take the lead. Strike 1, that one on the outside corner. After getting bases loaded, I think that meeting was able to settle Jackson down. We do see some activity in the bullpen, but that probably won't be needed as Jackson seems to have settled down quite a bit. Here's the 0-1. Outside, ball 1. The Cowbells are out and active. Here's the 1-1 to Muzio. Jackson needed an extra second to get ready. Applause around the arena. Here's the 1-1. Ball 2 just outside. Muzio, a potential huge at-bat here. Bottom of the 3rd. Muzio, only 2 RBIs this season. Ball 3. Muzio 1 walk away from bringing in a run and bringing up Bobby Marsh. And you know, Bobby Marsh is someone you don't want to face with bases loaded because Marsh is an extremely lethal hitter. We nearly saw him get a home run. 3-1. And ball 4. Pioneers take the lead on a walk. Muzio gets the job done. Bases stay loaded with 2 away as Bobby Marsh steps up to the plate. Good discipline from Joe Muzio. He's able to get aboard with that walk, and that's only his 2nd of the season. You know, I think Muzio will be quite satisfied to have brought that run home. And Bobby Marsh back in the 2nd inning. Hit one deep right. It just bounced off the wall. And if that wall was a little bit shorter, it likely would have been the first home run all season here at Dunfield and for the Pioneers. Jackson ready to go. Marsh ready to go. Outside, ball 1. Pioneers have elected to use the gray uniforms as their main home jerseys, while the navy ones have been the key ones they wear on the road. Inside, strike 1. So, of course, don't get confused when you see navy for Newark. Pioneers wear gray here at Dunfield. Usually on the road, they will wear blue. 1-1 now to Bobby Marsh. Marsh sends that one deep. Looks like it's playable. In the late sun, the catch is made and the side is retired. But the damage has been done. A run comes home off a Muzio walk. And with that, it's 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, but bases are stranded. That's the end of the third. We'll be back with the fourth right after this. We are back here at the top of the fourth at historic Dunn Field. First pitch coming from Coletta. Strike 1. That one's going to be shot deep to left field. But in left, Mandler gets under it for the first out of the inning. See some cheers around as Werner flies out again. Hit that on a line, but not able to get behind the outfield. 1 away. DeMetz Candy Company is this inning's sponsor for your Pioneers. I want to thank them for being able to sponsor and support the Pioneers. Whitley up now. He flew out to right field in his previous at-bat. That one fouled backward. I almost had to duck out of the way. It went close to my window. Here's the 0-1. Ball 1 to the outside. Here's the pitch. Tipped away, strike 2. Coletta lights out so far, just a single hit surrendered, but he's been able to get outs against the other batters and is ahead here against Whitley. And that one's a little bit high, ball 2. Try to get him with that breaker. For the season, Whitley the best hitter for the Pilots. 5.83, 7 hits in 12 appearances. He's going to line that to the outfield, and that gets down. That's his now 8th hit and 14 as he had flown out previously. Runner on first with one away. It's going to bring up Morgan with one away. Morgan, of course, I mentioned 4 for 8, where he also has 2 RBIs. He's got a tying run on first. That one a bit inside, and we saw Morgan duck away. The 1-0 now, looks at first, and strike one. That was in the zone. Here's the 1-1. Fouled away. One, two, a chance to try to get the second out of the inning with a runner aboard. Just checks over at first, making sure that Whitley isn't trying anything. You haven't seen Elmira take the lead very often this season, but they do lead 1-0 right now against the Pilots. And looking to get a second win here at home. That is outside. Bartenstein almost throws back to first, but holds on to it. 2-2. And swing and a miss, strike 3. He tried holding up. He didn't hold up enough. Runner stays on first. 2 away. That's an important third strikeout of the game from Coletta to really alleviate the stress with a runner aboard. Smith steps back in here. And we've already mentioned for the season, Derek, 3 for 7 with an RBI. He also got on base via a hit by pitch before. He flew out in his first at-bat. He's going to take that one for strike 1. To compound the pressure of this at-bat here, Smith is also needing to work with a lefty-lefty disadvantage. We've seen people like Muzio and Marsh shrug it off, with Muzio getting on board via a walk, and Marsh nearly taking 1 yard. But it might be a little bit harder against the red-hot Coletta. One. Coletta looking back at first. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And some extra claps and cheers around Dunfield. 1 strike to go to end the inning. Two outs, 1-2, runner aboard. Coletta looking to complete a 4th inning cleanly. That one's going to be driven deep to left field. That one's probably getting in behind. It's going to go off the wall. And in right, he's not able to get up to it. Herrera finally throws it in. And it is a stand-up double where eventually Smith has to go back to second and just hold on to it. And he gets an RBI double to equalize the game. That one's similar to Bobby Marsh's home run. Takes an awkward bounce that Herrera not able to read. And the game is tied. Good steps up with a runner on second and 2 away. And again, a tied ball game. The Pilots right back in it, responding immediately after a run came home for the Pioneers. That one, ball 1 just a little inside. Don't see any activity for the Pioneers bullpen yet. You have to assume with how strong he's been, Coletta will be given the green light to go over in the 5th inning. But also that'll probably be when we do see someone warming up, potentially Mason Smith, or a different bullpen arm. High, ball 2. And I will say a few of the people we might expect to see Drum try to use include Podest, Sivgar, Mason Smith, and Kevin Serrano. He obviously can bring in anyone, but those are a few names he said to keep an eye on for today. 1-0 count. And I think now it's ball 3, actually. So after surrendering that hit, I think Coletta just a little bit sluggish out there. A little bit of control issues here against Goods with 2 away. Just needs to lock in and get that final out. Does have a couple free bases, but don't want to try to give him up here. Goods was the only other player to get a hit in this ball game, but 3-1 as he takes that one. 3-0, very obvious take. Once again, thank you, of course, to the Mets. 3-1. Well, Coletta throw. Tipped away, 3-2. Goods on the season has the most at-bats with 16. 6 for 16 with an RBI, and he has 1 walk this season. He's now got a full count with a runner on second. It would be the go-ahead run, and would give the Pilots their first lead of the ballgame. Swing and a miss, and the side is retired. 2 strikeouts this inning for Coletta, but it's good news for the Pilots as they cut that gap and bring it back to level. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left aboard. And with that, the top of the 4th inning is over. Bottom of the 4th is going to come right after this. We are back here to Stuart Dunn Field. Bottom of the 4th inning underway. Chris Jackson still on the mound. We do see some activity in their bullpen, but unless things get bad, I don't think they'll try to pull Jackson here. We don't see anyone for the Pios yet in the bullpen. That might come eventually, though. Leading off, Frank Wayman. Ball 1. In the previous inning, the Pios got the bases loaded and got 1 run home via walk. However, they weren't able to get anything else, and now the game is tied once again off an RBI double that went right off the wall. That time inside again, Wayman having to duck out of the way. 2-0 count here to Wayman as he leads off. He grounded out in his previous at-bat. It worked as a sacrifice to get Marsh to third. And ball 3. Wayman now very far ahead in the count here. He has gotten 1 walk this season. Could be 1 ball away from his second one here. He's going to get an obvious take sign, I bet, from Wilderman. Just because if that's ball 4, it gets him aboard. And strike one, Wayman. Just a little bit inside. That was a close call. The count goes 3-1. You do wonder whether he's going to swing or take again. Here's the pitch from Jackson. And this time, ball 4. Wayman gets aboard with a walk. And that walk is a good start to the 4th inning for the Pioneers. Cooper Smith comes up here with a runner on first. Vasco Brands is the sponsor this inning. They're your home for janitorial supplies. And if you want to visit them for any janitorial needs, just tell them the Pioneers sent you. Thank you again to Vasco Brands. Now, runner on first, no one out. And this time, Cooper Smith is going to drop a bunt. It's picked up by Jackson, but Jackson doesn't have time to make the throw. So the sacrifice ends up being a hit. Great play by Smith, and there are now 2 aboard with no one out. And we are going to see a coach coming out here, and likely not pulling him out yet, or is he? He's shot a look to the bullpen. I think right here he's just going to tell him that he's on a short leash, just to try to get out of this jam. We might see a pitching change eventually, but he hasn't taken the ball yet. 2 aboard, no one out. Jackson so far surrendered just 1 run through 3 innings of work, and did get out of a bases-loaded situation, surrendering just 1. Johnny Wall steps up here. Wall grounded out in his first at-bat. He's got 2 aboard. I do wonder whether they're going to go back to a sacrifice bunt and see if they can just try to get a better scoring position for Chris Bear. Bear doubled in his first at-bat. We know he's got some pop. That's what Coach told us a while back. First pitch from Jackson. Ball 1, just a little bit low. One-oh. That one lined deep into the gap. Will that get down for a hit? Yes, it will. Off the wall. That should give the Pios the lead. Here's the throw in. Runners at second and third. And going all the way home is Frank Wayman. It's a 2-1 lead off the RBI double from Johnny Wall. Cooper Smith gets all the way to third, and Wayman finds his way home. And I think that might be the day for Chris Jackson, unless he's going to get another shot here. But with that, it's a 2-1 lead for the Pioneers off a rocket. Not able to exit the park, but gets all the way to the warning track. Chris Bear comes up with no one out and 2 runners in a deadly scoring position. If he gets another double, he'd bring them both home. That one's low, ball 1. Two-one Pioneer lead, 1-0 count now to Bear. Strike 1, low, but in the zone. Mandler on deck. He's going to chop that one up. Gets down in the infield. Bear he beats the throw. Bear gets aboard with an RBI single. A close play at first, but Bear gets home. Wall gets to third. Runners at the corners. 3-1 is now the lead for your Pioneers. And what a start here in the bottom of the 4th inning. No one out. Runners at the corners. And a 3-1 lead. Now up is Max Mandler, and he's already got an RBI in the previous game. He got on base via walk back in the 3rd. That one gets away, and Chris Bear's going to get to second. Givens not going to risk that throw. Runners at second and third again with no one out. 1-0 count. The Mandler drew a walk last time. Still no change. Jackson on the mound. 1-0 now for Mandler. Ball 2 just a little outside. They've got a free base to work with. And Bartenstein has characteristically been a much weaker hitter. The only time he was able to get on base was thanks to a walk. So maybe you do try to take that free base and get a weaker bat aboard to try to turn 2. But then again, why not try to get that first out against Max Mandler? He still doesn't have a hit. That one bounces in the dirt. Ball 3. And I think sooner rather than later, we will see a player come in from the Pilots' bullpen. 3-0 count to Mandler. 2 on, no one out. 2 runs already scored by the Pioneers this inning. And ball 4. Mandler gets aboard on 4 straight pitches, and every single base runner that has come up to the plate this inning has gotten aboard. And that will be the day for Chris Jackson. As Bartenstein is up here, Jackson's day will be finished. There will be a new face coming in from the bullpen. Jackson ultimately completing 3 full innings, but that is all. Brody Bartenstein will now have a shot with the bases loaded. And another lefty comes to the mound. For Newark, and we will get you the name of that player in just 1 second. It's a risky spot with bases loaded. Actually, it's a righty. So, entering the game is Jim Marasco. He, I believe, is a two-way player, as he isn't actually listed among pitchers. He's listed in the other section. And Marasco is going to be making his debut on the mound. At the plate, he was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, so maybe they're hoping he could be better as a two-way pitcher rather than a two-way hitter. I have a feeling they're going to want to try to get him in for a little bit. Eat up some innings and see what he can do. Marasco from Adrian College, a junior from Webster, New York. Bottom of the 4th. We do see a conference over at third base. Warm-up just about wrapping up here. Carrasco about to be ready, or Marasco ready to go with his first pitch. Bases are loaded, no one out. Bottom of the order and Bartenstein up. Olsovsky on deck, followed by Herrera and Muzio. Brody Bartenstein got on base via walk. Back in the 3rd. And strike 1 on the outside corner. Bases loaded. Infield slightly in, as we see from the first baseman. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Bartenstein down already. Top of the order and some of the stronger bats for the Pios coming up. Combined, they are 0 for 5, but for the season, they've all been relatively good. We see some claps around here, as that one's outside ball 1. Bartenstein holding up. Pios already a successful inning, but with no one out and bases loaded, they'd like for that success to try to continue. As Marasco still ahead of Bartenstein. And that one's going to be strike 3. Even if he tried to hold up, that was very much down the zone. Out number 1. Olsovsky comes back up, 0 for 2 today, but a chance of the bases loaded to try to keep extending that lead. Funnily enough, he also got aboard with bases loaded. Olsovsky ready to go with 1 away. Marasco would love to force a double play and get out of the jam. That is outside, ball 1. Some AOs throughout Dunn Field. Olsovsky ready for the next pitch. So is Marasco. High, ball 2. Olsovsky would like a walk because it would get the run home. And he's had 5 all season. Entering the game, he actually leads the team in that category, ahead of Bobby Marsh with 4. That one's going to be sent deep. That should bring a run home, even though that'll likely be out number 2. The throw back in. They get it in, but he's not able to get the out. Olsovsky with a sac fly to right. Came in time, but not on target. Wall gets home. Bear to third. Bartenstein, after the throw, gets to second. 2 away, and still 2 runners aboard. Both in a dangerous position for Ethan Herrera. 4-1 lead now for your Pioneers. Olsovsky did the job with the sacrifice fly. As Ethan Herrera now ready to go. Herrera's going to drive that one deep. Will it get down? And I think yes, it did. He made a great catch at the wall, holding onto it, and the inning is over. That was a very hard play to read, but in left field, a good grab there by Hurwitz. He keeps and holds onto it. But the damage was already done. On 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 were left aboard. In the bottom of the 4th inning, the Pios lead 4-1. We will be back right after this with the top of the 5th. We are back. Top of the fifth, first pitch. That's going to be grounded. Wayman picks it up. And can't beat him to the bag. Didn't get the tag off. Wood opens up with a single on that play. And it was a tough play. It was a slow ground ball, and Wayman just a step behind. And we're going to see Coach Drum out there, I think, discussing it. I think he felt that Wayman had made the tag and just wants some extra clarification. He gets that clarification. Runner on, no one out. Don't see any action in the bullpen. Coletta's still doing good. And there is a conference between the two umpires. Highly doubt the call will be changed here. And they do officially award him safe. Couple standard boos, as expected after a close play like that. But a good job by Wood to run it out. Wood was 0 for 1 entering the at-bat. But for the season, was hitting .222. Now improves to 3-11 on the year. Fun fact for Wood as well. That's the only times he's been able to get on base. No hit by pitches or walks. Runner on, no one out. Tried to bunt. Bartenstein looking to fire back, but it's also a little high, ball one. So it does look like there will be a bunt attempt here from Gordon, who struck out his first at-bat. That one's strike one, as Gordon isn't able to get to it. Arnett Health is this inning's sponsor, the key health service provider for your Pioneers. They are present on our hat and are one of our big sponsors. So again, thank you for Arnett Health. Health is what they do. Runner goes. Strike two, throw over to second, just a second late. The stolen base complete by Wood. It was a great throw from Bartenstein, but Wood got the right jump. I guess a little bit of solace in the play was that the taken ball was strike two. But now a more dangerous attempt with the sac bunt would get a runner to third, try to cut that deficit from 3 to 2. 1-2 count for Gordon. Coletta looking to get out of this at-bat here and get the first out of the inning. On deck is Given. That one's flared out to the right. It will be foul, though. And not enough speed by Herrera to get to it, although that would be one that would be incredibly hard for a major leaguer to get, so you can't blame Herrera. He did a good job of trying to track it down. 1-2, no one out, runner on second. It was an electric bottom of the fourth inning for the Pioneers, bringing home 3 runs to take a 4-1 lead. Newark already has a runner in scoring position, though. I just need to update that graphic. 1-2. And oof, that one looked right down the middle, but I think it's just maybe a little bit outside. Broke a little too late. Ball 2. And in that previous play, there was a stolen base. 2-2, runner on second. That runner would be the second run of the game for the Pilots if he gets home. And he just steps off, looking over to second, just to keep that runner there. Have a feeling the runner is going to try to get to 3 eventually. And if so, Max Mandler will want to run in case there is an errant throw. 2-2. And tipped. So count stays at 2-2. And the umpire just checking with Bartenstein. He's okay. I think that just tipped weirdly off him. But Gordon able to keep alive here. Of course, he wasn't in the original lineup. He came on due to an injury from Luke Jackson. Hopefully Jackson can recover. 2-2 to Gordon. Outside ball 3. And now you definitely expect Wood to go. Now, I wonder, with a free base and, again, bottom of the order coming up, what about a pitch out that you try to get Wood going to third? Because you know he's definitely going. It's a 3-2 count. You might as well. He doesn't. That one's a little bit high. There are now 2 aboard. A long at-bat ends in a walk with no one out. Given steps up here with 2 on. He'd be a tying run. No one yet warming up, but I have a feeling that could change in a minute. Coletta has had a great 4 innings so far, and I know Drum will want to have him finish this 5th inning. Wonder how long he'd go after that. Infield playing in case there is a sacrifice attempt from Given. Runner goes. Bartenstein, throw to third, in time. But they say he couldn't get a tag, and that time, I have a feeling Drum might come out again. That looked like he'd gotten him. The double steal works, and both runners get into scoring position. I think that was the wrong call. I think that he had gotten the tag on a near perfect throw from Bartenstein. That's incredibly disappointing. Count 0-1, though. That was strike 1. Here's the pitch from Coletta. Fouled away, strike 2. He's now got 1 strike away from a first out in a little bit of a jam. Can't blame Coletta there or Bartenstein. That was a really good play from the two of them. Bartenstein got that throw to third right in time. I think they're trying to say Wall just didn't get the tagged out, but he did. He got his foot as he was coming in. But here's the 0-2. And that one just a little bit high. Good at framing attempt from Bartenstein, not able to get it. 1-2 now for Given. Now tomorrow, the Pioneers return to Dunfield and a rematch against the Niagara Power. Took a tough loss in last time, looking for some revenge. And the dirt, ball 2. Pioneers have a bit of a lead, but it is in danger. Tough situation here. Coletta in a little bit of a jam. 2 on and no one out. Infield not playing very far. They can't afford a run. Now here's the pitch from Coletta. Swing and a miss. Coletta gets another strikeout on Given. And now it is going to bring up Kine with 1 away. That's an important strikeout there to help out their cause. And a great job from Coletta to keep calm, stay focused, and get that strikeout. Coach Drum said if you're in trouble, just pitch to contact. But sometimes pitching to contact can lead to some whiffs. And for the game, that is the 5th strikeout for Coletta. That is outside ball 1. Kine, previously lined out. If he repeated that line out, it would help bring the deficit to 2. Swing and a miss right there, 1-1. Kine fooled that time. He's the first baseman for the Pilots. And on the season, he had a 3 for 5, or 3 for 6 entering the game, 3 for 7 now. Swing and a miss again. 1-2. And Coletta warming up one more time. I think that's the reason that Drum's still trusting him. Coletta very cool and calm out there. In fact, this has already been one of the best starts of his career. Didn't have many long starts in college, only about 6 innings, and already he's completed 4 with just 1 earned. And strike 3, strikeout number 6 for Braden Coletta, and he has really started to heat up with the pressure. The Pilots on his 6, but he has been able to barrel roll out of the gunfire and get behind them now with 2 outs, still 2 aboard, but he's got a chance to win the dogfight this inning and keep it clean for a 5th inning of work. Hurwitz comes up with 2 away. He grounded out in his previous at-bat. Tipped away, strike 1. Oh, 1, 2 away. Fouled, 0-2 count now. Coletta ahead of Hurwitz. Of course, the big thing for Hurwitz is that he has gotten to the ball twice in this at-bat. What is Coletta planning? 0-2. Tipped away, staying alive. And you do see Gordon going. Obviously, if there's a ball in play, both of them just going to be running as fast as they can. Hurwitz on the season, 1 for 4 entering. He's now 1 for 5 with just a 200 average. And Hurwitz yet to get an RBI this season. And it's strike 3. Hurwitz goes down looking. Forget the Pilots. The true ace is Braden Coletta. 3 straight strikeouts with 2 on to end the inning and keep it clean. The Pioneers still lead 4-1 entering the bottom of the 5th inning, which will be right after this. We are back at Dunn Field for the bottom of the 5th inning. Braden Coletta had 2 aboard, but got 3 straight strikeouts to get out of a really tough jam. And now the Pioneers' bats are back up in the bottom half of the inning. Joe Muzio leads off, and he got on board via walk to bring a run home. He's got a chance to keep this offense going for the Pioneers entering the 5th inning. Marasco stays on the mound after getting out of a bases-loaded jam. All the runners were previously owned by Jackson, so even though he did surrender 1, as Muzio drives 1 deep, but it should be playable. It is. That's going to be a fly out to right to start the inning. Muzio got a lot under that, but just a little too much. 1 away. Bobby Marsh steps back up. Back in the 2nd inning, he hit a drive that went deep and ultimately bounced off that right field crooked wall as he got a stand-up double. Pioneers, no home runs yet this season through 6 games, but Marsh has a bit of power. He hit 6 last season. That one's going to be flared to the left. It does get down in foul territory. 0-1. Entering the day, Marsh has played in 5 of the games with 15 at-bats. 200 average, but he's scored twice. He's also gotten 4 walks. He had a triple and 2 RBIs for the season. And today, he's improved his average so far by going 1 for 2 with that double and a flyout. Again, fouled away. He's hitting an opposite field, so that'll always keep the defense guessing. Marsh doesn't have to worry about that lefty-lefty platoon he had to face back in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Or back in the 2nd, because he has faced this pitcher before, as that one's tipped away. Still 0-2. Wayman, 0 for 1 with a walk, and he's on deck. Muzio, Marsh, and Wayman forming the 3-4-5 hole. That's a tough job for Marasco, but he's already got 1 down. Tipped away. Marsh doing a great job of keeping alive. Still down 0-2, but he's already forced 4 pitches that he's gotten a piece of. Marsh committed to Penn State. He'll be a Nittany Lion next season. Pioneers will wish him luck when he does go. And of course, we hope he returns. And strike three. Marsh goes down looking. And disappointing for Marsh right there. That'll bring up Frank Wayman with 2 outs. That was a very well-placed pitch from Marasco. Wayman ready to go. The first pitch. He's going to ground that sharply to second. That's going to be missed, but the play is made to end the inning. That time it's a 4-1 ground out. That's a weird thing you have to write sometimes, but Marasco settles down and gets 3 outs in order to end the 5th inning. Still a 4-1 lead for your Elmira Pioneers. We'll be back right after this. We are back at historic Dunn Field for the top of the 6th inning. Braden Coletta returns to the mound. He has had a very good start today through 5 innings, surrendering just 4 hits and 1 run. And alongside that, he only has given up a single free base via walk. Do see a little activity in the bullpen, but for now, Drum has the confidence to leave his starter out. This is one of the longest starts we've seen all season from a Pioneer. So again, great work from Braden Coletta. That one's going to be popped. Cooper Smith tracking back. And he makes the catch. And Smith, he's had a couple hiccups so far this season in the outfield. But I think he's gotten those yips out of his system as he gets the first out of the inning. One away. That was Werner flying out as Whitley steps aboard. Morgan is on deck. Whitley 1 for 2. He got a single and scored the only run so far for the Pilots. That's 4 runs in the year, which is tied for the most on his team. That one's a bit inside, ball 1. But Whitley, 9 for 14 now for the season. Or 8 for 14. A really good average, hitting over 500 in 4 games. But he's going to miss on that pitch, 1-1. Coletta looking really really good for the Pioneers tonight. Sunset coming soon, clear weather. Does mean sometimes the bugs will be flying around, but still a very good night for baseball. That one's going to be popped up. It should be playable. Both Wayman and Bear tracking back, but in right field, it's going to be Ethan Herrera coming in for the second out of the inning. And after getting bases loaded nearly with a runner on second and third in the previous inning, he's now got 2 outs right away, and Morgan's going to step up here. He's 0 for 2 today. Here's the first pitch for Morgan. Swing and a miss. Ty Morgan from Emerson College. Outside, ball 1. Morgan's a junior from Waldwick, New Jersey. That's the 1-1 from Braden. Just a bit low, ball 2. Colette has done a great job of rarely falling behind batters. And we do see some warm-up throws in the bullpen. But with 2 outs, I know Drum is going to let Coletta go unless something catastrophic happens. That one's going to be lined, but foul. A chance for Ty Morgan to get aboard, as that was definitely getting to the outfield, likely for extra bases. But just veers foul, and the count's 2-2. He's seen 6 strikeouts already, with a 7th, of course, back in the 5th inning. Can he get number 8 right here? Low, ball 3. Full count now to Ty Morgan. Morgan gets aboard via walk. It would come off a very long count. They're definitely trying to drive up Coletta's pitch count and see if they can bring out the bullpen a little bit early, hoping for some better luck, as Coletta has looked nearly unhittable for a lot of the game. That one inside, ball 4, as Ty Morgan had to duck away. That's just the second free base conceded. With 2 away, there's now a runner on first for Smith. First Transit is this inning's sponsor. We thank them for being a huge supporter for the team. You can see them on our jerseys, and they are the best for your travel needs. I mean, look at all the sponsors they've got up in the outfield. Huge supporter of the Pioneers, and we thank them. 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. That one's going to be ball 1, just a little low. Runner on first, 2 away. Smith here, looking to keep the inning alive. He's going to pop that one up, and if fieldable, it will end the inning. Wall makes the catch. And with 1 walk, the inning is over. With 1 aboard, it got stranded. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 kept aboard. And with that, the top of the 6th inning is over. We will be back right after this. Thank you again for First Transit for sponsoring your Elmira Pioneers. We are back here at the bottom of the sixth at historic Dunn Field. The Elmira Pioneers lead 4-1 after an explosive fourth inning where they were able to put 3 runs on the board. Rasco's come in and kept things quiet since as we enter the bottom of the sixth inning. Smith, Wall, and Bear due up for your Pioneers. Cooper Smith ready to go. Cooper Smith lining that to center field, but it will be caught for out number 1. That was hit on a line, but Whitley gets right under that line. Johnny Wall steps up with 1 away. This inning sponsors Texas Roadhouse. We want to thank them for supporting your Pioneers. And if you see that target right in right field, it nearly has gotten hit. If a Pioneer can send a home run and hit that banner, everyone gets free Texas Roadhouse. A free appetizer, I'll also mention. And for me, I've already said it, I'd go with the Cactus Blossoms. I always love having Cactus Blossoms when I visit Texas Roadhouse alongside their famous bread. I mean, who doesn't love Texas Roadhouse bread? Count goes 0-2. That was definitely ball 1, but again, that's why they don't pay me to be umpire. They just pay me to be the commentator. 0-2, Wall down already. He's going to foul that one away, keeping alive. Wall scored off a double, being 1 for 2 today. Wall also was able to get an RBI there. And for Johnny Wall, that was his 2nd RBI of the season. That one's high, ball 1. Rasco's done a good job coming in from the bullpen, keeping things clean. And ball 2 just outside. That was a tough pitch, but Wall, good job to hold up, a good eye with that discipline. We do see some more activity from the bullpen for the Pios. That likely will have been Coletta's last inning. He's going to ground that, gets by third, picked up at short, but that throw is not going to be in time. That was a great effort there to get it by Morgan, and Wood does get it, but it's not in time. It's a 1-out single for Johnny Wall. Great job to battle back from an 0-2 count to get aboard. That'll bring up Chris Bear, who's 2 for 2 today with an RBI. He was the first run of the game for the Pioneers, but couldn't get a second run back in the 4th inning. 1 RBI, 1 out, 1 runner on. That is inside, ball 1. Ball on first. Don't think that'll be sent. Marasco looks back at first. That one's going to be hit to the right. Will it get down? Yes, it will. It gets down in fair territory. Runners at first and second. That would have been risky to send Wall to 3, so he stays at 2. But with that, Bear goes 3 for 3 today. After a slow start in his debut, Bear has come out firing. And is 3 for 3. With 1 away, that's going to bring up Max Mandler, who's gone on base with a walk twice. And yeah, Bear was 1 for 4 in his first game. His average is now 3 for 7. That puts him ahead of Joe Muzio. Strike 1 that time. Breaking ball just fooling Max Mandler there. Mandler has done a great job of sacrifices before. And at the very least, I think Coach Drum would like him just to get those runners in motion and moving. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. On deck after Max Mandler is Brody Bartenstein, who is 0 for 1 after walking back in the 3rd. Strike 3. Mandler swings and misses there. And that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Bartenstein heading back up here, it looks like. 2 outs. Bartenstein still looking for a first hit this season. If he can get it against Marasco, it would help expand that lead for the Pioneers. Alternatively, if he's able to get a board, he could keep that inning alive for Olsavsky and the top of the Pios order. Olsavsky's definitely due for a hit. He only had a sac fly RBI. Swing and a miss, strike one. See a little activity in the Pilots bullpen. I have a feeling Marasco will definitely be allowed to finish this inning. That one's a little bit low, ball one. Good take on a, I'd say, borderline pitch from Bartenstein. Here's the 1-1. There's 2 aboard. Piles already lead by 3, though. Bartenstein grounds that, but it's foul. It's going down the third base line, but just veers foul. 1-2 now for the Pios catcher. The sun is set, but the sky still remains a nice little bright blue as things will continue to get dark. They haven't gotten super dark yet. Lights shining here at Dunfield. Loud fans. Not as many cowbells now. That's going to be grounded. Shallow to short. Throw to first. Is not on line. 1 run scores. Bartenstein heads to second. Another run's going to come home. Will there be a play at the plate? No! Because it did go out of play. Fortunately for Chris Bear, he can't get a run, but he's not going to be too upset. Runners at second and third, and with that, Bartenstein gets aboard via error. What a play from Brody. That ground out gives him an RBI. The inning stays alive, and now Joel Olsavsky comes up. It's a 5-1 lead for the Pios. And as things had looked to finally try to go the way for the Pilots, that error does not help them. Count goes 1-0 for the Pios leadoff hitter. And again, we've already said Olsavsky's certainly due for a hit. He's done very well, but tonight just a little bit quieter. 0 for 2, but he did get, of course, a sacrifice fly. That one's foul. Tracking that to the right is Kine. He won't be able to. And it's off the dugout. I'm pretty sure the warming up has finished in the Pios bullpen. They could see Coletta come back out here. I think more likely we'll see a bullpen arm make an appearance. 1-1 with 2 away. Here's Olsavsky. Fouled away. 1-2 count now. Apart from that first inning strikeout, Olsavsky has been able to put balls in play for his other 2 outs. And one of them did come, of course, at an important time. That was Olsavsky's 3rd RBI of the season. That put him in the lead of the team. I have a feeling he might be tied because there have been quite a few Pios with runs scored. That one's outside, ball 2. Good take there on the bait pitch. There's a bumblebee hovering around the camera. But I would suggest that bumblebee watch the entertaining game outside. 2-2. Fouled away again. Olsavsky doing a great job of staying alive. You do think that this would be Marasco's final inning, unless he is given another inning. Doesn't seem to be tiring, really. Still putting the pitches where he wants to, and with a bit of stuff behind him. But you do have to think that Coletta probably won't be coming back out again. That one's going to be grounded hard to short. Picked up, but not cleanly enough. Olsavsky beats the throw. It's an RBI, and I'm not sure whether that's going to be graded as a second error or not. It very well might be because he just didn't come away with it. He did. It is an error from short, and Olsavsky gets aboard runners at the corners. It is now a 6-1 Pioneer lead. I do apologize. I think the audio was clipping a little bit. I was changing some audio settings, so I will turn down that microphone so it doesn't clip as often. 2 outs. Runner goes to second. That one bobbles away, so it runs. They're going to go home. And he's safe. The risk pays off. 7-1 lead for the Pioneers. And with that, Olsovsky gets to second. And it has been an absolutely ludicrous inning here. Pioneers with the luck that we haven't ever seen from them. 1-0 count for Herrera. That one's going to be flared out to right. It will get down for the final out of the inning. But not before 3 runs come home. And the Pios can take a very deep breath as they take a 7-1 lead. We'll be right back after this. And we are back at historic Dunn Field. Zivgar takes the mound for the top of the 7th inning. And he's going to be tasked with just holding on to this lead. It's 7 runs. He's going to have a quick conference with Bartenstein as they get ready to go for the top of the 7th. Clarion Inn is this inning's sponsor as the choice hotel for your Elmira Pioneers. If you're staying within the area, Clarion Inn should be your first check. Always great service. Go and make sure you check out Clarion Inn. Thank you again for sponsoring the Pioneers. Goods leads off here. Finally not having to worry about that lefty-lefty platoon disadvantage. He's 1 for 2 with the double. So in the end, 1 run allowed on 4 hits. A very good outing from Braden Coletta. Now the hope is that the Pioneers bullpen can get Coletta the first win of the season for himself, and the Pioneers to get a 2nd win in a row. They'll have a tricky matchup tomorrow night against the Niagara Power. But tonight, they've been doing a little bit better than the Pilots. Goods, a lefty hitter from Adrian College, and Wapakoneta, Idaho. No, not Idaho. Ohio. Geez, I got the name of the city right and messed up the state. That's the easy part. Here's the first pitch from the pen from Zivgar. Just a little outside. Important thing for Gar is just to limit free bases and let the defense do the work. And that's been something Gar's been pretty good at. Through 3 1/3, he surrendered just 3 earned runs on only 2 walks. And even though that always isn't the best line, he's been able to pitch to contact and get outs from the field, which is what I know Coach Drum will want at this time. Wayman making a great snag at first base to get the first out of the inning. That was not easy. Goods nearly had a hit. Was maybe borderline foul, but a good grab nonetheless. Wayman getting the first out of the inning. Top of the 7th underway, and now we're going to see a pinch hitter. Number 7's going to come in the game for Wood. It is Fernando Espinal. Espinal comes in for his first at-bat. Ball 1 just a bit low. This season, Espinal, 3 for 7, but no RBIs. He does have a walk. So he's a consistent hitter, and now he's going to have a chance as a pinch hitter here to get some offense going for the Pilots. Just outside, ball 2. Taking a look at the scoreline so far, 7 runs on 7 hits for the Pioneers, 1 run on 4 hits for the Pilots, but notably 3 errors to the Pioneers' 0. That one gets away, and I think it actually hit off of Espinal's shoe. Yes, it did. That's going to be a hit by pitch. Weird to see that happen, but it gets a runner aboard with 1 away. Thankfully, those cleats, I think, will protect the foot. Otherwise, that would be a nasty stub toe for Espinal. Runner aboard, 1 out. Don't see another pinch hit change, or do we? I believe it is. Sebastian Pike is coming on as a replacement here. Runner aboard. That one's popped backward, but going to land foul. Strike 1. Gordon finishes the day 0 for 1 with a walk. And I think they want to trust some stronger bats here, try to make a comeback happen. Pike hasn't had a clean plate appearance yet. He's had 2 walks. Espinal safe on the pickoff attempt. So a chance here for Pike. Runner goes. Throw from Bartenstein. Not in time, just a second late. Espinal steals second. Got the jump, and even though it was a good throw from Bartenstein, couldn't get the runner. Bright side, it's an 0-2 count. Ziv Gar, potentially 1 strike away from a second out. Just outside, ball 1. 7-1 lead for the Pios. A runner in scoring position with run away. But at this point, unless there's a lot more runners, Drum I don't think will be too nervous. And strike 3. Gets his first strikeout of the game from the bullpen as Pike goes down looking. 2 away as Givens steps up. Unless they're also making a pinch hitting change here. And indeed they are. Actually, no, they aren't. It is number 11, Given. 2 outs, man on second. Ball 1, just a bit low. For the Pioneers, not a lot to complain about this game. They've been doing really well. And Gar, 1 out away from ending this inning. That one is strike 1 on the inside corner. Here's Gar again, taking a look back at second. Not going to go a pickoff, though. And, ooh, that one just slips out of his hand, And that'll hit Given. That's the second hit by pitch this inning. Kine comes up with 2 outs and 2 aboard. And it was a breaking ball, so it stings a little less, but I have a feeling Yums might just say, hey, be careful. I have a feeling that Coach Drum will also say, or Coach Wildman, say, hey, be careful. 2 aboard with 2 away, needs just 1 more out. And Kine so far, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, or 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Given was able to get aboard after 2 strikeouts. There with that hit by pitch. 2 away. And indeed, it is Kine. That one's ball 1. Actually, he might have pinched hit him too. That looks like it could be Matt Fabian. Fabian's going to drive that deep to left field. Mailer going back, but he's going to make the catch to end the inning. And yes, that is Fabian. He came on as a pinch hitter. But it doesn't matter. He flies out deep to left, and the side is retired. No runs on no hits, no errors, 2 stranded aboard. We'll be back with the bottom of the 7th right after this. And once again, thank you for declaring on in. That was the 7th inning stretch. We'll be back right after this. Marasco stays in the game. We are back at the bottom of the 7th. It is now truly nighttime here in Elmira. And even though it's 63 degrees, it's a much cooler night than it was in windy Oneonta last night. And I will say the wind probably was the cause of that. Jolton Joe Muzio leading off for your Pioneers. Bottom of the 7th underway. Hilliard, the sponsor of this inning. They've been one of the key sponsors. Present on our caps, present on multiple billboards out in the outfield. Thank you again to Hilliard. Today, Muzio, he has gotten on base, but he's 0 for 2 apart from that. He has put both balls in play, though, which is good. He had 2 strikeouts against Oneonta. 1-0 count. And it feels weird that the Pioneers have such a big lead. It's the largest lead they've had all season, especially this late. Came off their first win with a close game that was determined in the 9th inning. That one's grounded to second. The play made for the first out of the inning. Bad luck again for Muzio. His BABIP luck, not great this season. Although, he's done a great job of getting contact. That's going to bring up Bobby Marsh with 1 away. Marsh was close to getting the first home run of the season for the Pioneers, but stayed in the park by just a few inches as it bounced off the top of that leaning fence. I don't think a straight-up fence would have let it go over there. And again, the lean-up fence is just something we have to deal with. It's a little bit annoying, but might appear sometimes, like on that play. 0-1 after he takes strike one. Apart from that, Marsh is 1 for 3, but again, a solid game coming back. He was absent the night before, and as much as I wanted to make a joke about his absence helping the team, there he goes with a deep ball to center. Even though that gets far, it won't be far enough. The second out, the team has responded really well to his return, and a lead pretty late here. So with that, 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. So with 2 outs here, we are going to see Chris Bear come up. We are going to see Frank Wayman come up. 0 for 2 with a walk, but he's again kept the ball in play on his 2 at-bats. Strike one. So Marasco has come on for a long stint from the bullpen, but has done a good job. Bullpen empty for the Pioneers. They're ready to trust Ivgar and the top of the 8th inning. Marasco might get the call for the 8th inning pitching as well. They might just go for someone else for that final inning. There's a line drive through the gap for a base hit. Wayman gets his first hit and gets aboard. It keeps the inning alive and allows the Pioneers to try to keep expanding that lead. And congrats, Frank Wayman. You got your first hit as an Elmira Pioneer. That's going to bring up Cooper Smith. Cooper Smith had a single and a 1 for 3 day. 2 away, runner on, tipped away, foul. Two one, or 0-1. On deck, Johnny Wall. A very loud crowd here, encouraging Cooper Smith in this at-bat. He's going to line that over to second. He's not going to get it. We're going to see Wayman get to third. Runners at the corners with 2 away. And that is definitely going to be an error off the second baseman. Wayman nearly stumbling, but makes it to third safely. Runners at the corners. That's going to bring up Johnny Wall, who's 2 for 3 with an RBI. He's a triple and home run away from the cycle. That actually is graded a hit for Cooper Smith. It won't be an error. Cooper Smith pops that one up. That should end the inning. Kine runs over to it and makes the catch in foul territory. The side is retired. 2 hits, but no runs. No errors. 2 left aboard. The 8th inning right after this. And we are back. Top of the 8th inning, historic Dunfield. Zivgar stays in the mound. Kobe Menser, a lefty batter, comes in as a pinch hitter. Here's the pitch of the inning from Zivgar. Strike one, just tagged that outside corner. Very close call. Bartenstein framing probably helped it. Number 3, Kobe Menser up here. 0 for 2. That one fouled away. He's down 0-2 now. I think with this deficit, Newark just trying to try something different, get some new bats up. See what they can do to get some offense going. Menser, the number 3, a sophomore from Union College in New York. Kobe calls for time. Here's the 0-2. And tipped. He just got a piece of it. Menser, 6'1". He's one of the tallest players at his position. He's going to flare that out to left. Will it get down? Yes, it does in no man's land. Mandler picks it up. Menser stays at first. It's a leadoff single from the pinch hitter. That's going to bring up TJ Werner unless they also are replacing him. But no, it's going to be TJ Werner again. He's 0 for 3 today with a flyout, lineout, and groundout. If he gets a strikeout, he'd pretty much complete a trifecta of outs. Runner aboard with no one out. Gar still in good control. That was a very good weak contact hit, except it landed just in the no man's land between left, third, and short. Mandler eventually get to it. Pickoff attempts. Menser back safe. Don't see any activity yet in the Piles bullpen. I have a feeling if Gar is able to, Coach Jerome would love for him just to finish this game. Tipped away, foul. Importantly as well, Werner has been able to get outs in play in each of the times he's come up. Gar checks first, gets the sign he likes. Strike 2. That was some heat down low and in the zone. Werner, a little bit trickier of a zone to manage because he is pretty short. He's only 5'4", the smallest on the team. Don't think they're going to try to run a sack here. Instead, he's going to drive that one deep. Will it get down in the gap? No, making that catch in right field is Ethan Herrera, who's done a good job defensively there. And that's another flyout for Werner. Disappointing day for him, 0 for 4. Someone who's had a not disappointing day, going 1 for 3 with a run, is Whitley. He's up here, unless they also are going for a pinch hitter. Nope, it's still Whitley. One away, one aboard. Wenser didn't have a chance to tag up and go to second. But I do have a feeling Wenser might try to steal second. Strike 1 on that outside corner. That breaking ball got to the edge of the zone, but it's called strike 1. One away, runner aboard. Wenser with a small lead. Looks like he's ready to go. There's Gar. That's a line drive that's going to land for Max Mandler. He picks it up. There's 2 aboard with 1 out. That was just a sharply hit ball. Nothing else to it. Morgan gets aboard here. 0 for 2 with a walk. Coach Drum said he doesn't mind if they get some hits and get people aboard. He'd rather that than giving them free bases. And indeed, it took 2 really well-hit balls to get this situation. Empty bullpen. We might eventually see someone just in case Gar really starts to struggle. But again, 6-run gap for the Pioneers. They can take it a little bit easier. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. And we mentioned entering today, Morgan was hitting pretty well, 4 for 8. That number's dropped just a little bit, but he's still a pretty dangerous hitter, not one to laugh at. That one in the dirt. Both runners will advance. Can't tell whether it was a wild pitch or not, but likely will be great as a wild pitch or whatever. Both runners get to third. Just took a weird bounce in the dirt that got over Bartenstein. Disappointing there, but again, a big gap. Gar just meant to eat some innings and keep this gap as it is. Or keep a pretty sizable gap. Two aboard. One out. Double play is pretty much dead unless there's a pitcher in right field that could get a runner out at home. That one's going to be grounded shallow to third. And with that, Wall just gets the force out at first as a run comes home. The run didn't come home on a free base, and as a bright side, they do get the second out of the inning. They had a lead that they can play with. Newark gets their second run of the game. Runner now only on second. He didn't even have a chance to get to third. With two away, that's going to bring up Derek Smith. Strike one. That was a breaker that fooled him. I think he just went way too far around on that time, as he sort of checked up like very late. 0-1 for Derek Smith. That one's lined. Bear can't get to it. Runner's going to go home. It should be a 7-3 game. Yes, it is. It landed shallowly in the outfield. Too hard for Herrera to get and bring home. So with that, Smith gets an RBI single as his second hit of the game. He has 2 RBIs tonight, as Whitley scores all the way from second. Runner on first, a 2 away. Might see someone warm up, but again, Gar was just told to keep that deficit manageable, and that certainly is. It's a 4-run lead with 2 away in the top of the 8th inning. There's also an inning for the Pilots to try to get back. There's a drive deep right field, but Herrera gets under it, and the side is retired. 2 runs come home on 3 hits with no errors. 1 get left aboard. Still a 4-run lead for your Elmira Pioneers, but things have gotten just a little bit closer. We'll be back with the bottom of the 8th right after this. And we are back at historic Dunn Field. Entering the game now, replacing Marasco, is Ridge Parker, a freshman from Cowley College. For the season, Parker has had 2/3 of an inning, and that was a shaky start. He's going to be looking to recover this time around, as Brian Griesman, coach for the Newark Pilots, I think just wants a clean inning to give him one final shot in the top of the 9th. The big problem for Parker has been 5 walks in that 2/3 of an inning. Pioneers will need to utilize discipline to try to get ahead. Chris Bear leads off. He's 3 for 3 today. Triple and home run short of the cycle, although that's probably going to be impossible unless there's an absolutely mammoth 8th inning here. Tomorrow night, Pioneers stay at Dunfield to face off against the Niagara Power. That's their final home game of the week, as they then travel to Jamestown on Sunday to have a rematch against the Tarp Skunks. After that rematch in Jamestown, they'll get a day off before a new week of baseball begins. It's a pretty action-packed summer here in the months of June and July. We need to get 48 games in, and including a postseason. 7-3, Chris Bear ready to lead off, try to keep his hitting streak alive. That one is going to be ball 1. Close call. Bear, a very good recovery this time after a relatively quiet debut. Strike 1, 1-1 count for Chris Bear. The Pioneers, after committing 4 errors in the previous game, have really gotten better defensively with no errors so far through 7 innings. Oh, sorry, 8 innings, as there's a swing and miss from Chris Bear. Already down behind Parker's strong arm. Parker grounds it over there. Parker picks it up and throws it. Bear, good try. It hit off of Parker's glove, but he recovers in time to get the first out of the inning. Max Mandler steps up with 1 away. Today, Mandler 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Of course, he mentioned last night he hit that go-ahead sac fly that secured a win for the Pioneers, a 2-1 victory against the Outlaws. And wants to get some offense going with 1 away. That's hard down the third base line, but went foul too early. 0-1. Mandler, again, we mentioned, still looking for his first hit of the season. And I know Coach Drum wouldn't mind if it came here. Anything to try to help expand that lead in the 9th inning. And he's going to get on base with a hit by pitch. That one just slipping out of Parker's hand. That's going to bring up Brody Bartenstein with 1 out and a runner on. Bartenstein got on base and got an RBI off an error, and also came home to score himself. A very active inning for the catcher last time, and with 1 out, he's got 1 runner aboard to try to work with. Strike 1. That was the first time Bartenstein was able to get on base apart from that walk earlier in the game. And again, getting the monkey off your back of not able to get on base is something that will certainly help Bartenstein out as he settles down. That's a throwback to first. Mandler safe and sound. We see some chance for 31. Kids cheering on Bartenstein here with a runner aboard. That one's high, ball 1. Good take there from Bartenstein. Always vocal here at Dunfield. A very passionate fan base for the Pioneers. Throw back to first, Mandler safe. And you can tell Brody, looking back, I think enjoys all the love and support from the Pios faithful. 1-1. Brody's going to hit that out to the outfield. It should get down for an out. Yes, it does. Disappointing for Bartenstein. Despite all the support, an unfortunate flyout, but he does avoid a strikeout. Runner stays at first, 2 away. And now they're cheering on Joe Olsowski, who steps up here. Got on base via error last time. And I'm pretty sure he had an RBI with that error. Two away in the bottom of the 8th. There's a drive. Deep left field. It probably won't be deep enough. The catch is made, and that is the inning. That one had a lot of air under it, but not enough. No runs and no hits and no errors. We're entering the 9th inning. Last chance saloon for the Newark Pilots. Right after this. We are back at historic Dunfield. Jarek Podest comes in for the final inning, looking to secure the victory. Podest, through 5 innings pitched in 2 games, has surrendered just 2 earned runs. He's been a very good pitcher, and one thing about Jarek Podest is he doesn't throw with a lot of speed, but he's a zone filler. He likes to get pitches in the zone. He doesn't surrender too many walks. And as Coach Drum said, Coach Drum kind of paraphrased Foolish Baseball from one of his videos about Richard Blyer, who's another famous pitch-to-contact pitcher, is that Podest believes that hitters just aren't that good here. And in the major leagues, that's a very big risk because those are some of the best players in the world. But here, this is a wood bat league with collegiate players. And the fact that we haven't seen a home run on a Pioneers broadcast all season, I think should back up that belief. Podest getting the call here to try to get 3 final outs. Due up, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, 2 of whom were pinch hitters previously. Espinal, who got hit and got aboard, and Pike, who struck out. Given was the other player who got hit by a pitch as well. Gets one final conference from Bartenstein as the final inning is set to go here in Elmira. And once again, we will see you tomorrow night as the Pios take on the Power again. Last time, the Pio took a 10-4 victory. The Pioneers looking to get some revenge. Espinal leading off the top of the 9th. Swing and a miss. That breaker fooling Espinal. Just a little bit high, ball 1. And again, Podest on the season, he only has 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. That time with a little bit of heat, strike 2. Can Podest get his first out right here? Ball 2. Now, fun fact for Jarek Podest, he's going to be at Elmira College next year, so he'll be back at Dunfield with the Eagles. Tipped away, foul. So, when Podest finishes this summer with the Pioneers, that won't be the last Elmira fans will get to see him. He's also been a local kid, kept an ERA under 3 in high school. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's the first out of the inning. 2 more to go. Pike steps up again. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He went down looking. Strike 1 there. I think Pike was waiting for something faster than that. That one inside, ball 1. 1-1. Here's the pitch from Podest. Tipped away, strike 2. Now, a big thing as well, you see the crowd getting loud. I wonder for Podest whether he feels pressure or is calmed by the support. Because again, it can go either way. That one just slips away from Bartenstein, 2-2. Podest already 1 out here. Just needs 2 more and 1 strike away from that second one. Just low, ball 3 barely, and Bartenstein was surprised there. He thought it was strike 3. I think just outside the zone, a little bit low. And Pike able to work a long count. Here's Bartenstein again, the Podest. That's grounded sharply down the third base line. Wall can't get it. Pike's going to try to round and head to second. He will get a stand-up double with one away in the ninth inning. One out, one on second. Now, fun fact as well for POTUS, I was trying to find stats for him, and what was funny is all I could find for him was basketball things. He's a two-sport athlete, and being 6'6", he's pretty good at basketball. Not a huge surprise there. I bet he'll go two sports in college. I mentioned it before. That's similar to what Coach Drum did, where he did wrestling and baseball, eventually doing MMA as well. Coach Drum actually shared with me a few of the fights that he did in MMA, and just to maybe a word of warning to maybe be careful if you want to do MMA while in college, because he broke his hand in a fight, which he still won, by the way, and missed a chunk of the season, which definitely not a great look. That one's going to get away. Runner's going to get to third. And is he going to go home? Takes a little lead, but he's going to stay there. So wild pitch there. Count goes 2-0. Pike gets to third. And again, not a lot of stress. There's only one out. 2 to go. No one in the bullpen. And still a 4-run lead for the Pioneers. And the bottom of the order coming up as Given is at the plate. 2-0. That one's high. Wonder if we'll see Billy just come out and just tell POTUS to say, listen, just keep throwing strikes. Trust your defense. We've got a 4-run lead. Don't worry about it. 3-0 count for Given. That one's strike one. One of the easiest takes for Given, but also an easy strike throw right there from POTUS. 3-1. I wonder what the call will be. He's going to drive that deep left field. It should get fair. It does. It'll score a run. Mandler not able to come up with it. It'll be another stand-up double. And a run comes home. The gap goes to 3. That was just, again, perfectly hit down the line from Given. He gets his first hit of the game. Fabian steps up here with 1 out. But again, I don't think POTUS should be feeling a lot of pressure. Pioneers still lead by 3. Runner at second, 1 away. Fabian up. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. Ball 1 just a bit low. Here's some claps and cheers coming from Dunfield. They're getting loud. That one flared foul. That will be 1-1. Wayman tried to chase it, but just fell too quickly for him to get to it. Herrera was also going, but neither of them able to get it. Dunfield getting loud. 1-1 count, 1 aboard. Still a 3-run lead for the Pios. They've surrendered 1 so far in the 9th inning. And strike 2. Landing low and in the zone. POTUS ahead now. 1 strike away from getting that second out that he needs. Tipped foul. That time, that's going to be for a few of the players on the bench. We do see someone warming up for the Pios in the bullpen, but I think he's only going to come on as an emergency. I wonder whether that might be Tristan Champa again. You know, Champa has said that he wants to play often with the Pioneers and that he's going to likely be a relieving option, playing in most of the games. Here's the 1-2. Just low 2-2. A good take there from Fabian to not get fooled by the bait pitch. Pilots still fighting. They're down by 3. Here's the 2-2 now to Fabian from POTUS. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 from Jarek POTUS. And there are now 2 outs in the 9th inning. The Pilots down to their last out. Their tying run still on deck. Menser back up here. He needs to make a Kobe-like late shot here to keep this game alive for the Newark Pilots. One out away for a second win in a row for your Elmira Pioneers. Fouled away, strike one. POTUS was able to help himself getting that lead batter out. Then we saw two nice hits down the left field line. Get a run home, but now he's got a chance after that strikeout with two away. Inside, barely. I mean, Kobe backed out, but it looked very close. 1-1. And now you see Dunfield getting loud. We'll let the crowd tell the story this next pitch. That one foul. The Pilots down to their last strike. And we'll let the crowd do the work. Ball two there, so agonizingly close. But we're going to let him talk one more time. 2-2 count. Just inside, ball three. But now a full count with two away. Tying run still on deck. Let's let the crowd do the talking one more time. Yeah, I think you should know we're going to let him keep talking. And that one just fell. We will go one more time with the 3-2 to Menser. And yes, one more time, we will get the crowd going as we see Given go back to second base. Ball four, just a little bit high. I think a few groans around Dunfield. The tying run steps to the plate. Billy Wildman's just coming out to the mound. And I think at this point we do see a very short leash for Jarek POTUS, but I don't think he's going to be taken out here. I think Wildman's going to say, listen, just clutch up, get that final out. We don't want to look to the bullpen, but we will if you're still not able to get this out. We believe in you. Pilots staying alive. They were down to their last strike, but they force a walk after a long at-bat. That's going to bring up Werner one more time. He's 0 for 4. A first hit you could argue he's due for would be huge for the Pilots here. They trail by 3. Haven't seen a home run leave Dunfield yet, but if that happens as the worst-case scenario, that lead would evaporate. POTUS needs to get one more out. Needs to trust his defense. 2 away, 2 on. Ninth innings are never easy. The Cowbells still going. First pitch. Ball one, just a little bit high and inside. Some more Let's Go Piles chances. The 1-0 now. That one line to right. It hops. Throw home. Runners stay. The bases are loaded. That might be POTUS stay done. He was able to get 2 of the outs. Do we see any movement from the bench? Whitley comes aboard. He's 2 for 4. The best hitter all day for the Pilots. He's the type of batter you want in this situation. One more out needed. Here's Podest. That one popped to left field. Mandler gets under it. The Pios win. Bases loaded, but Podest gets that final out. He shrugs and said, I just wanted to make it interesting. The Pioneers get a second win in a row. The Pios win. I think that he might be credited with the save for that, or maybe not, since he didn't inherit a saving position. But the thing that is not in doubt, Braden Coletta comes home with the win for the Pioneers after 6 innings of 1-run ball. Great job from him. Zivgar kept it quiet from the bullpen, surrendering just 2 runs back in the 8th inning. And Podest allowed just 1 run and got that final all-important out. The final line scores go as this. Your Elmira Pioneers scored 7 runs on 9 hits and no errors. Meanwhile, 4 runs came home on 10 hits and 3 errors for the Newark Pilots. That is the game. No fireworks tonight here at Dunfield, but we did see them out on the base path. Congratulations again. As we see some hijinks between a few of the players. There's Joe Muzio and someone else. But again, a very fun atmosphere for the Pioneers. Slow start didn't dim the mood, and now they improved to 2-5. Disappointing for the Pilots, who now fall to 1-4. But still, a long season to go. A lot of time to turn it around. Pioneers will play tomorrow night here at Dunfield against the Niagara Power. Final score, one more time, 7-4 on a great win here at historic Dunfield. I'm Taylor Storthy, and thank you for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow night.